All right. So, good evening, one and all. And I'm so delighted to have all of you here, to see all of you here today. Thank you for taking time out to attend this live demo session. Thank you for investing your time in your own growth, I must say, because as coaches, I think we continue this learning process and what an amazing platform we have with the coaching journey community, right? So, I must say again, this is an opportunity for me to introduce our esteemed speaker today and our guide. That's Anindita Mukherjee. A warm welcome to Anindita Mukherjee, and let me introduce her to all of us. Let's just get to know more about Anindita. Anindita is a leadership and life coach. She's an ICF PCC, a strategist, and a trainer who works with leaders and support professionals across sectors. She champions holistic practices and is the creator of this marvelous framework. There are two original frameworks that she has curated. One is spiral pattern intelligence. We will get to know more about it today. She has amazing content and resources that she's going to share with us. And the other one is split coherence, both of which integrate power, healing, and systemic transformation. Her coaching beautifully weaves together nervous system awareness, emotional depth, and systemic clarity. So, clients often describe her as calm, yet courageous and powerful because she holds a space, a safe, real space where growth feels possible. And we are truly fortunate to have her with us today to share her wisdom, to share this powerful framework. I am so keen to learn from her today, and I'm sure all of us are. And yes, we are fortunate to have her with us today for to share her wisdom and tools for transformation. So let us give her a warm virtual welcome. You can chime in, you can just have your responses on the chat. Let us have a warm virtual welcome for Anindita Mukherjee. Feel free to drop in an emoji, yes, in the chat. Anindita, over to you. And there you go. Yes, thank you, Anindita, for making this possible for us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dharmishta, for that, wonderful introduction where it's so much more than what you found written, right? I was feeling I am more, like I was already feeling transformed over there. And that's the power of the coaching community, right? So, yes, so today, as we are here for a demo session, I would like for Dharmishta to decide who am I going to coach.
Oh, yes. I want to see a show of hands if anyone is interested. Do we have keen participants? Anyone here who is interested to take in this demo session? Because Anindita is going to take us through this framework, the growth in spirals. Of course, she's going to show us in a demo. Anyone who is keen to join us for this demo as a client today? No show of hands. Oh, Avinash. All right, we have Avinash here. Anyone else? Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, then I think we'll go ahead with Avinash if no one else is championing for this demo. It's completely fine. Yes, Avinash, are we good to go?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Avinash seems
Yes,
all charged up. Yeah. All right.
yes.
There you go, Avinash. So, Avinash is a fellow coach of our community at CJ Coaching Journey. And Avinash, over to you if you can introduce yourself to our audience and let's take it forward to this lovely demo session. Yeah.
Sure. Good evening, everybody. My name is Avinash. I'm from Hyderabad. Recently got my ACC credential and been part of the CJ community for a couple of months. Found this community very useful and insightful. And when I'm not coaching, I'm writing or reading. I'm also a playwright on the side. So that's about me, and I'm open to be coached today by Anindita.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Avinash. It is already a very, very courageous thing to come in front of everyone and in a recorded session to volunteer to be coached. But I think that's only coaches have that power, right? Yeah. So before we begin, Avinash, I want to ask you about the time. How long do we want to continue coaching? And then we are going to have a discussion on our session as well as any question that anybody has around it. So, how long should we carry forward the coaching session? And then approximate, not we don't need
30 minutes. Just 30 minutes.
30 minutes. All right. So, can we say like 30 to 40 minutes or 30, 35
Yeah.
minutes, something around
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
Works.
All right. All right. So, of course, as you know, Avinash, I didn't know who I was going to coach today. So, Avinash raised his hand. Thank you, Avinash. So, the only thing I want to say to Avinash before we begin is that uh, you can bring up any topic that you want, bring up to the level of your comfort at any time if you feel that we are not going in the right direction, or I'm saying something that's not feeling right to you. Please flag that immediately so that we can course correct. Right? If you don't want to answer any question for any personal reasons, please feel free to say that. Coaching, I cannot say today coaching is confidential, though it is most of the times. But what I can say is that it is still a safe and non judgmental space, and we can make it so and keep it so together. Right? And the other thing is, whatever it is that you are feeling, whatever you are thinking, bring forth the real you, whatever is really coming up for you, because it's very important for us to truly want to connect in the session, right? Those are my only two things for you. Otherwise, as all of us would know, most of us are coaches here. Uh, Coaching is not about telling, it is the client who is the expert. The coach is there to help them explore themselves and open themselves up, be the canvas for them so that they can find their space for growth. So, Avinash, before we begin, would you like to say anything to me?
I'm good with all the things you mentioned. I agree with everything. I don't have anything else to say. I think we can start.
We can start. All right, Avinash. So the stage is fully yours. What is it that you would like to discuss today?
Okay. So I've realized something this week, and it's not a surprising or shocking realization. It's actually a little surprising, but not shocking. It's something that I've known about myself, but it just came to the surface again. So I come from a gaming background. I've spent 7 years in gaming. We build games where we, want people to play games, and games are addictive, right? So I have also played games and I've been addicted to games big time. I also come from a background with a lot of experience in the social media industry, making content for social media, which means I need to spend more time on social media. So I come from a space where if you had met me like 5, 6 years ago, I would be addicted to my smartphone all the time. I'm literally on my phone, scrolling, playing, and exploring, and all of that. And it has taken a lot of effort to be aware of that, be mindful, and get over that, to understand the science of addiction, the science of these products that are made and designed in such a way that are so addictive. And I've experienced it firsthand, I've seen it firsthand. To also understand the science of de-addiction, to manage yourself and how to be away from digital devices so you can have your focus, your attention, and you're not distracted. So I've been through that whole journey. Yet this week I realized that I'm still not completely over it. I'm still addicted to my phone. I'm still addicted to my digital devices. I think day before yesterday at night, bedtime, I just didn't want to sleep. It's not that I was not feeling sleepy. I was feeling sleepy, but I didn't want to sleep. And I spent my time doom scrolling on Instagram, just watching reels after reels after reels. And I've been spending a lot of time on WhatsApp, on Amazon, browsing for no reason, randomly just seeing what are the new deals. Let me buy something. And then it hit me, oh my God, I thought I was someone uh, who can take care of his digital well-being as a coach. Especially now that I'm a coach, I also told myself, "Arey, you're a coach. You should be more mindful. You should be aware. But why are you doing this?" And I also realized anytime my phone buzzes, there's a notification sound, and I'm very quick to pick it up and open it. Sometimes, even if there's no notification sound, I'll just open it and see what's happening. And when this realization came, I was like, wow, you know uh, how we human beings are so good at rationalizing, creating theories for ourselves. I somehow convinced myself that I'm not addicted to my phone at all. But all this time, I've subconsciously been still glued to it without realizing. But now I've become aware that although it has improved over the years, of course, but the residue is still there. That constant itch of picking up the phone and just scrolling through is still there. And so I thought, why is this still there? And that's something that I want to explore today.
Why is it still there? Is the question. So Avinash came across an eligible who knows about addiction, de-addiction. You cannot hear me? You can hear
Yeah,
me?
now I can hear you now. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So he knows a lot, both about social media as well as about addiction, de-addiction. And he thought that he wasn't addicted at all. Then he came to this realization that there is a part of him that is probably still addicted to his phone. And he thinks as a coach, he shouldn't be that. And so, why is that there? Is the question. Yeah. So, tell me more. Like, why is that there? I'm sure you have thought about this quite a lot. After that, also, what was the answer you got?
You're right. I did think about it. I got into a self-coaching mode where I'm asking myself what's happening, this, that, and all. Um, I think I'm still somewhere going through that aftermath of being a coach. Okay. So what I'll explain what I mean. Before coach training, who I was and the way I relate to my immediate world was very different. I have a family, I have my friend circle, I have buddies at work, and we have good relationships, we hang out, we do all of those things. After my coach training, now that suddenly I realize, oh, limiting beliefs, we are master rationalizers, values, how people are stuck in their thinking. Now that I have, what do you say? It's like the fog has been cleared for me, and I think a certain way. I've been finding it very difficult to relate with everybody around me, to connect, to relate and to connect with people around me. Because every time someone says something, my brain goes, oh, that's a limiting belief. It's just a concept, it's just an illusion. Oh, but maybe this is the pattern where this is why they're thinking that way. And I've been telling myself, I have to stop being the coach. I have to put off the coach's hat. But then I don't know how to do that because how do you stop being a coach? Once you're a coach, you're a coach. It's like once you're a doctor, you never stop being a doctor. Of course, you only do the surgery in the surgery room, or you're doing the diagnosis when you're in the clinic in front of a patient. The rest of the time you're not doing it, but you're still a doctor. You don't forget all of that, right? So as a coach, I have the same problem. I don't know. I'm not coaching someone, but even in my day-to-day conversations, when I'm talking to people and people come up with their own comments or, you know, things that they see, and I'm like, what are you saying? Come on. But I don't want to do, I can't do that because it feels unfair to challenge them. So now I don't know how to go back to being that just a friend or a family member who's not a coach. So why I was picking my phone so much, I kind of asked myself, what is this itch? What is this itch that I'm constantly picking my phone and being so texting all the time, or looking at information? I'm also browsing the internet way too much. Any interesting post I come up on LinkedIn, I'm like, yeah, now I have to go down that rabbit hole of finding information more about who, what. And I realized, oh my God, I'm struggling to connect with the people around me in my physical environment. And so I'm spending so much time in the digital world trying to find like-minded people. So that's what I call the aftermath of being a coach. Did I make sense?
What do you think?
I think so. I think I was able to explain what I'm going through.
Hmm. Yeah. So what I'm hearing, like you use such powerful words, aftermath of being a coach. I'm not sure what others are feeling about this phrase that you used, aftermath of being a coach. Great, wonderful, wonderful phrasing. And apart from that, you said limiting beliefs and rationalizations, master rationalizers. And what I saw below this is a dilemma that you are facing. One, you want to be this person who's just a family person, a friend, a professional, and the on the other end is the coach, as if these are two different avatars of, is it?
Um, hmm, Interesting. Yeah, you're right. Somewhere it's become like that, where there are these two avatars, and I don't know how to become one and not be these two avatars. Because you're right. If I am operating from a coach's mindset, then I'm finding it very difficult to connect and relate with people. So I want to try and be the guy I was before my coach training, like how even I used to have these kind of beliefs and opinions and random things. And, we would, like work buddies would sit and rant all the time about how things are wrong with the entire world. But now I don't do that because I feel like, no, this is not me. So, yes, there are these two, there's some kind of duality where on one side, now I'm this person who's kind of crossed over to this side and sees things very differently. But somewhere I feel I still want to be that person so that I can connect with the people with whom I've been together for such a long time.
Hmm. So what needs to happen from here, Avinash?
I think I need to, as a beginning, as someone who begins on this journey, it is very tempting to coach, to get into that mindset all the time. I feel very tempted when someone says something so silly or so that doesn't make sense. I mean, I hear it as a coach. I'm like, I want to ask you something right away and see what happens with it. But I also need to remind myself that as a coach, I don't judge. I allow people to be who they are. And I try to do that. I try to do that. I tell myself, I'm not here to judge, and I'm not coaching right now. Like the doctor who's at the clinic and the doctor who's at the home. I'm the coach at the home, and I'm coach at with friends, or in a casual setting. I'm not performing a diagnosis or a surgery at this point. So I want to be able to not judge people and just allow them to be themselves. And I do that, but I still feel disconnected, you know,
Mm.
because I'm not participating in those conversations anymore. Earlier, what I would do is I would also participate. I would like, yeah, right, this is so wrong. Yeah, that person, da 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 da. Oh, why did they do this? They shouldn't do this, blah blah blah. But now I'm not participating in those conversations because I'm like, I don't believe that now. So yeah, I still have a challenge connecting with people.
Mm. So you have a challenge connecting with people before you are participating. Now you are non-judgmental but non-participating. Right. How does this feel?
Yeah, that's kind of accurate what you're saying.
Mm.
I don't know how to participate. And
Mm.
if I'm talking to peer coaches, or if I'm talking to people with a similar mindset, is absolutely fine. I can participate, engage, be part of it. But someone with a very different mindset, like I come from a very conservative family where we've had limiting beliefs for a very long time, strong religious beliefs for a long time, judgmental opinions about people for a long time. And I was part of that ecosystem, and I came over it only recently in the last 1 year. So now I don't know how to go back to that and participate there. I'm not participating at all. I'm kind of actually
Mm.
I'm listening, and I acknowledge sometimes, yeah, I hear you, but I'm at the periphery. And that is why my digital behavior has gone up. I'm constantly online trying to, connect or relate with the world.
Interesting. So digital, you are thinking something.
Yeah, I was thinking something. Hmm. I was also thinking somewhere I've been very limited in my perspective. It's not that people around me are always having judgmental conversations, gossiping, and sharing limiting opinions. We also have fun conversations sometimes, but that's rare. That's less. Other time, ghar pe, the kind of conversations you have is, what do we make for breakfast tomorrow? What do we make for lunch tomorrow? What do we make for dinner later? Or this task needs to be done, that task needs to be done, blah, 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 blah. And if I'm hanging out with family, friends, and all, there also the conversations are again very different about this or that. Nothing that interests me or catches my attention, something that I want to participate in. Sometimes I feel I have to just fake and do small talk. Yeah, I heard about that news, and oh, this is going to be like this. Oh, okay, so what do we do now? Oh, what are you doing about your kids now? Blah 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 blah. Blah. None of the conversations excite me anymore.
Mm. None of the conversations excite you anymore. It used to before.
Yeah,
Mm.
now it feels like small talk. Why are you telling me all these small little things?
Mm.
Unless they're a client. It's like if they're a client, whatever the client is sharing, of course, I'm completely open. But if a friend, if you're telling me all these things, I'm also trying to be a friend, then I don't know. Sometimes I feel like maybe I'm thinking too much of myself as a coach. I've gotten into this false notion of what does it mean to be a coach. Somewhere I'm thinking, oh, coaches are these intellectual, philosophical, mindful, enlightened people, who don't have a lighter side to them. And this is something that I've learned also, I think, in my interactions with this community. I've learned over time that just lighten up. Come on, it doesn't mean you have to be this serious and philosophical and intellectual all the time. You can also just indulge in light banter. We are humans also, the human behind the coach. So I understand that, and I try to be that, but somewhere I'm still not able to. Like something still feels disconnected.
You used this word disconnected several times. How does this disconnected feel like for you?
Like I said, it's like that. I'm on the opposite bank now. I crossed the river and I'm now on the opposite bank, but everybody else is on that bank. And when I say everybody else, I'm just referring to my family and friends. Not,
Mm,
but there are other people on this bank, like peer coach
mm,
and other like-minded people who are on this bank, but they're all virtual. I'm not
mm,
met them in person yet.
mm,
So the people with whom I live or I meet regularly, or the people who are physically present in my environment are on that side of the bank.
mm,
So that's how it feels.
mm, mm. So everyone else is on another bank, at least the people who are your family and friends. So from here, what would look like an ideal situation for you going forward?
I think an ideal situation would be where I have meaningful connections with like-minded people also, preferably in person, virtual, hybrid, both. But also, I need to be really mindful of how I'm balancing my life as a coach and as just a human being. I think somewhere I need to stop drawing that line and dividing that, oh, some people are here, some people are there. It's not like that. There's no division really. Everybody is in the same space. It's just about how we see. It's our own perspective. So I think I need to be more open to that and find common ground. So earlier the common ground was certain kind of conversations. Maybe that's not the common ground, but there is some other common ground which I'm not able to look at,
Mm,
right? So maybe if I start looking that way and find that common ground again, then I'll realize that this divide is just in my head. It's actually not
mm,
there. Because I know at the
mm,
end of the day, we are all in the same space. We are all the same. There's really no divide among us. It's just
mm,
that I've built that illusion in my head that there's some kind of disconnect or divide. So, an ideal situation would be me realizing that and being able to practice that. Actually, I already know, but I don't know how to practice it.
mm,
I also tell myself when I talk to my family members individually or when we all come together for dinner, sometimes I'm sitting there and thinking, what shall I talk about? Something that really interests them and is like a common talking point for us. Or when I'm hanging out with family friends, let me talk about something that is of mutual interest to them. So then I feel more like, yes, I'm also participating in the conversation. I'm not just listening and observing. I need to do more of that. I think I've only done
mm,
that at a very surface level, not done it too deeply. That's something that I want to try. The next time we sit down for dinner, or the next time we are going out and in a social scenario, I want to try this one exercise with myself where I try and find common ground between me and the other person, something that interests both of us, and then try to have a conversation around that.
mm. So you want to find a common ground. Yeah. And you also shared a lot of things, Avinash. Thank you for sharing. And I want to acknowledge you for all the insights you are bringing over here. That, just because I have become a coach doesn't mean I have become somebody. Then you also said that I do not like to have those very superficial conversations. Uh, so those are very different insights, but those are important insights for you, right? So who is Avinash becoming in this entire journey? From him liking those conversations to not liking another kind of conversations, then wanting to go back and also connect to those same people. Who's Avinash becoming in this process?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know the answer. It's a great question, but I don't know. It's something that I need to think. Because, like I said, I come from a very conservative background where it's common for us to just sit and gossip or share judgmental opinions or talk about having strong opinions about what is right and what is wrong and judging certain communities or societies. And I've come over all of that, right? And that's when I became a coach. I can answer that. Who did I become when I came out of it? I became a coach. But who am I becoming now, where I'm still trying to be a coach and connect and participate and still, relate with the immediate world around me? I don't know who's that. I don't know what word to use or how to describe that who. Um, but maybe one thing that comes to my mind is, like I said, it's the beginning journey as a coach, right? And sometimes when you start off as a coach, you do have certain illusions or concepts that you make for yourself. Oh, coach means this, coach means that. Like I'm saying, I always thought coaches are all these intelligent, philosophical, mindful people. But over time, I've realized we're also human. Why am I being so hard on myself? Actually, maybe that's a good way to say I'm becoming more human. Yeah, I like that. I like the sound of that. I think that's what I'm becoming. So I became a coach and now I'm becoming more human with a coaching mindset.
Human with a coaching mindset. Now, imagine you have become this human with a coaching mindset. What one advice would you like to give yourself from that you to this you?
Stay humble,
Mm,
stay grounded.
mm,
Yeah, just because you were fortunate enough to take that journey and have more clarity and develop a certain mindset doesn't make you privileged.
mm,
Right? You're as human as anyone else. So stay humble and stay grounded and be thankful. Gratitude for the fact that I got to go through this journey and develop this skill.
mm,
That is one advice I would give myself.
mm. Humble, grounded. Where are you now in terms of these things? From, let's say, 0 to 10, 10 being very humble, highest.
Maybe I'm zero.
Mm, mm. So you are not humble and grounded at all at this point. Mm. Where would you like to be?
I definitely cannot be a 10 right away, but can I at least reach 5? Like at least
Mm,
learn and develop some practices to practice humility. Again, not as a concept. Conceptually, I know I have to be humble, but how do I practice it? How do I live that side of being humble every day?
mm. How do you practice it? How do you practice it?
I thought one way of practicing could be reminding myself every day that I'm a human too. I need to be thankful. I need to share my gratitude. I've tried a little bit of gratitude journaling in the past. Somehow it just didn't work for me. It felt too forced or it didn't gel. So I gave up. But yeah, somehow I thought this could be a practice, reminding myself to express gratitude, be thankful, to remind myself that everybody is equal. But that doesn't work. That reminding myself doesn't work. I need something more that actually works.
Mm. What is it that you need?
A practice that actually helps me feel humble. You know, I don't know what that could be, or I mean, I've been trying to do it in my head with my thoughts. I need a more physical, embodied practice on how I stay humble. I don't know what to do. Um, like, you know, how we have this traditional practice of you go to a temple, you bow your head, you join your palms, and you're physically showing your humility there. Don't know what's happening inside. There could be people who would be doing this, but inside they think, oh my God, I'm great. Or there could also be people who do this and feel truly humble from inside. What I'm saying is, whatever I've been trying to do to make myself humble, I'm doing it in my head with my thoughts. I'm not doing anything physically. So I need some kind of that kind of a practice where that helps me feel humble and not just think about it.
So you already did some gestures, right? Bow your hand,
Mm.
join your hand, bow your head. So how does this humility feel in your body?
When I do this, it does make me feel a little more humble. Like that zero moves to a little one or two when I do this, because I'm literally, you know, I don't know how to say this in English, but jukafying my sir and telling you that, listen, I'm not the most intelligent person in this world. I'm as human as you are. And I bow down to the soul in you. You know, so it does, when I do this, it does make me a little more humble and grounded.
Yes, Avinash, you have been using these words, right? Grounded, humble, right? So you also gave me a few gestures, gave us a few gestures. But what does it feel like in your body? What happens? You can breathe better, you feel happier, you can, uh, what happens really inside you?
There's a release. There's a release. I can breathe better. I think I did that. I did this and then I took a deep breath. So I can breathe better. And there's also a certain release of a certain tension. Whatever tension or stress or weight I'm carrying, it kind of releases a little bit.
So you are holding this tension.
Yeah,
Were you aware of this before as we began this conversation?
a little bit, yes.
You are saying this for the first time after
Sorry?
so long. You are saying this for the first time after so long, right? What does that say?
Sorry, I didn't follow that. What did I say for the first
Yeah,
time?
I said this thing, that how you feel that you're holding attention. Firstly,
Ah,
you're holding
okay.
attention, right? From the beginning till
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
And then you also brought forward this thing that what happens when you feel humble and grounded,
Mm.
right? So what's the shift that happened?
I think I acknowledged the physical tension that I was having, that I've been holding in my body, which I was trying to process intellectually through my thoughts, but not listening to my body, not being
Mm,
aware that my body is feeling a certain kind of a tension that I need to release through the body instead of talking about it. I was thinking that no, ठीक है, body में थोड़ा tension है, but बात करते हैं because we are coaches, we talk. We have deep
mm,
conversations, and through that conversation, something will come up. But the moment I did this and physically felt that difference, I realized it's a physical tension. It needs to be resolved physically, not through talking, which is again a very
mm,
interesting learning for me. As I even say this, I'm realizing myself, wow, this is something that I've learned today, which is very interesting for me to learn as a coach and as a human being also, that when I feel that tension physically, I have to do something physically to resolve it, not think through and ask what happened, why, and all of that. Yeah, it's very interesting.
mm.
Mm.
Right. So now if we move to some actions, as you have been talking about actions. So now that you have recognized two different states of emotions, of body, of thoughts, of being that you want to be in, what actions can you take from being here today?
Go to the temple and bow my head and do a namaste to the God in front of me. I stopped doing that. I actually stopped doing that. I haven't visited for a while now for whatever
Mm,
reasons. But yeah, I need to start that again. Really go to the
mm,
temple and just bow down and hold your hands and be like, okay, this is what it needs to be humble. So accept that I'm also just a human being in this world, just a speck of dust on the speck of sand on the beach, kind of a thing. So that's one thing I need to do. Maybe tomorrow or maybe this Sunday, go to the temple and do that. And keep that. I used to do that every Sunday. It was like a
mm,
ritual for me, and for some reason it kind of fell through the cracks, and I was like, okay, not doing that anymore. But yeah, I kind of need to do that again.
mm. As you said, I need to go to the temple. I could literally feel, you could breathe very, very much, like really deep. You breathe really deep. So this is something that you said is working for you. What else do you think could work other than prayers?
Yes. Hmm. Maybe do that at home as well. You know, God is not always in the temple. God is at home also. थोड़ा घर में भी पूजा पाठ आरती मंदिर बजाना घंटा बजाना also थोड़ा I should do that at home, which I don't do. I've the problem with me is since my childhood I've always been like the rebel kid. I'd always rebel against everything. Whatever my folks tell me to do, like you have to do puja, no, I won't do. You need to go to the temple, no, I won't do. You want me to do this? No, I won't do. So I've been that way, but I had my own discoveries, realizations, and I started doing all of that. I think after going through my coach training, I went back into that rebel mindset for a while, saying that, oh no, I'm rebelling against everybody because everybody's just like, now I know better. You don't know. Come on, what are you talking about and all that stuff? But I'm realizing that no, that's not serving me. It's not serving me. So I need to. The other thing that I can also do is do the same thing at home. You know, that's one thing that I can do.
Mm. So, how convinced are you, Avinash, that this can help you?
It's the starting point. I'm not saying
Mhm.
this will completely help me. I'm just being very practical here. This is a start, right? At
Mm,
this point, even I don't know what else will help me, what more do I need to do, and how much this will help me. But at least I've had that realization. and I know what to start doing from this week, where to start again. And I think as I go, I will discover more. And then I'll be able to better figure out what more to do and what helps something that is sustainable in the long run.
So you are going to figure out as you go ahead. Where are we now with respects to our exploration for today?
I think we are good. I'm really happy and thankful to you because I know it started with something and I wasn't really sure what will come out of this exploration. But I think some very beautiful things came up about, realizing what. So the one learning that I'm taking away is physical tension, resolve it physically. Emotional tension, resolve it emotional. Don't try and be like, oh, physical tension, I will talk it out and resolve it. Not that didn't work for me. So that's something that I've learned today. The second thing that I'm taking with me is I need to start certain practices to practice humility. Earlier, so one more thing I remembered is earlier we used to go to certain religious places and serve food to the hungry, to the needy. I used to do that a lot. Again, I stopped. I remember that also used to make me feel very grounded and humble and gave me a lot of joy from within. I don't know why I stopped doing that. So maybe start doing all those things which I stopped believing in because I thought, why am I? Because I've never considered myself to be a religious person. I'm not a religious person. But now I'm thinking, no, there is some merit in doing some of that, at least to just keep myself humble. So I think this exploration has been fantastic. Thank you so much again for your presence, for holding the space, for allowing me to think, and for reflecting some very interesting points.
Thank you so much, Avinash, for sharing and taking this journey, a very courageous journey from social media addiction to religion to your body. So thank you so much for taking this journey. I know that we are almost at the end of the time that we had decided for the coaching part of the thing. So anything else, like anything else that you think could have happened in the session but did not happen? Any one question that I could have asked?
No, I think this was good. This was really, it was very structured. It flowed into a certain way. And there was a clear outcome and takeaway from this. So I'm good. I'm happy.
So, how are you going to hold yourself accountable? I forgot to ask you this question in taking the actions that you decided to take.
This is the most difficult question ever. I don't know. I know for sure that I'm definitely going to start my ritual of my Sunday rituals again. That I'm very sure of. The rest, whatever I suppose, I don't know. So I definitely need a way to hold myself accountable, but I don't know how to do that. Maybe write it down, put it on my calendar and commit to it. And if I don't do it, then agree to some kind of since I come from gaming and social media, we have something known as loss aversion. So if you don't do that, you lose this. So and that works somehow. So if I don't do this, I'll probably have to lose something. I'll have to decide what is that. I'm not able to think about it right now, but I can think through and design that system for myself so I make sure I'm accountable.
All right. Wonderful, Avinash. So what else would you like to say before we close this part of the session, the coaching part of the session?
No, I would say this was, like I said, this was very interesting for me. The two important learnings I had about physical tension and remembering my own practices that I gave up, and also these illusions that I've built for myself about who a coach is. challenging that and relooking at it and trying to be that human behind the coach. I think all of these have been fantastic realizations. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, Avinash.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I can see Dharmishta is right here.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Anindita and Avinash. I must say, wow, what a powerful coaching session. Yeah, I already see a lot of reactions, responses here. Well, I must say, before I take some of your reactions, people in the room already, I must acknowledge this, Anindita. I've learned so much today from you as a coach. The way you powerfully invited those self reflections at different identity levels. This is something that stood out for me. Um, the way you held that space with that centered, grounded approach, but also you invoked humor because sometimes coaching sessions do get serious, right? And I think this is something that I learned from you. You invoked humor, and he was kind of getting lighter towards the end of the session. Um, Beautiful. I think this was really powerful. The systemic clarity that you brought in, Anindita, I must acknowledge because you saw connections beyond the obvious. This is something that I'm going to take away from the session as well. Thank you, Avinash, for being such a wonderful client, talking about this relevant experience because I feel as a coach, I have gone through this journey as well. And I seriously wanted to jump in and say, can I just talk because I'm going through something similar? So I'm sure some of us have gone through this also, and so relevant, Avinash. I really loved what we brought to the table today. So I would like to invite some reflections from our audience, some beautiful coaches that we have here today evening who are still with us. Thank you again. Yes, could we just have some insights, revelations, questions? I'm opening the floor for questions, reflections, and insights to everyone, please. You can just probably raise your hand if you would like to ask a question or share your own experiences. Anyone? Okay, we have some chat. Yeah, Sanjeev, would you like to share something? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe just short observation. I think certainly great learning and the way Anandita navigated everything. It was amazing and very brave. Self acknowledgement by Avinash in terms of saying I was a rebel. I think that needs a lot of courage to speak up in like open forum. So very candid session.
Thank you, Sanjeev. Thank you so much for
Yes,
sharing your
thank
insight.
you.
Yes. Anita, would you like to share something? I think Bharti has also gone off, as in like she's on camera right now. Bharti, would you like to share something? Yeah. Bharti, you're speaking on mute if you are. Yes.
Hello, namaste everyone. Actually, it was a beautiful session and I really enjoyed it because I am just on my ACC journey. So I'm still learning a lot, just completed the program and doing my hours. But it's very beautiful insight. And you talked less and you brought out the nectar from Avinash. So, and your gestures, that the way you responded and you didn't react and you were totally gave him a comfortable space for Avinash. So that was beautiful. So I learned a lot and thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Mr. Avinash, also. And you were very frank and absolutely you felt comfortable talking to her. And that's the space she created for you. It was beautiful. Thank you, Dharmishta. Thank you.
Thank you, Bharti. Thank you for
Thank
sharing
you,
this
Bharti.
powerful reflection. Anyone else would like to share? I think Veena has also shared it in the chat. Thought provoking session. Thank you, Veena. Yes, in case you would like to share something more. Yes, absolutely fine. Before we leave, I think before all of us leave, I would like to share a beautiful document. I think Anindita would like to share it with all of us. Um, the coaching model that she has curated. This is called Coaching
Ah,
Inspirers. Yes. So if you'd like to connect with Anandita, she has the contact details. I think it's already given there. I just checked in. We have a QR code. You can connect with Anindita on a personal level as well. And thank you, people, for joining in. Yes, I would like to give the space to Anindita to share a couple of reflections, if you have any, before we go ahead and wrap up the session. Yeah. Yes, Anindita.
right. So before I say anything, I would like to ask Avinash. Avinash, how was the, like, if you now come out of that only the client and the topic that we were talking about, what what happened within you as the human?
I don't know. I've done so much thinking in the last 45 minutes. I'm like, what more to think? Um,
Right.
I think what I really appreciated about you was you kind of kept going deeper and deeper, little bit by little bit, but you still maintain the space of comfort, not going too deep at once. Because having been in peer coaching engagements, having been coached earlier, sometimes some people just hit the bullseye. They go too deep, straight into something and start, asking something which can be very difficult. I think what you did was you went step by step, slowly peeling, layering, and then ensuring I'm still comfortable, which I really loved. I loved how you did that. And like I said, I genuinely felt those realizations and I'm still taking those away from me. So for me, this session was very fruitful in the sense that I myself didn't see the connection between the physical tension, the intellectual tension, and how each one needs to be resolved accordingly. And remembering those practices that I used to do. And most importantly, who am I as a coach? Who am I becoming as a coach? I think I hadn't defined that for myself. I knew I have become a coach, but who am I as a coach? What kind of coach have I become? I didn't sit down and reflect and define that, which was a very interesting point for me to know. Now I need to sit and define who I'm becoming. Right. So all of these were wonderful for me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Avinash. So yeah, I mean, you were yourself so self-aware. You were bringing your thing, and so we could go deep into that. Uh, Apart from this, I don't think like I can say a lot of things and nothing at all. So if any of you have anything to share or ask me, then I can say something regarding those. I have also shared a PDF regarding some of the things that I get over and over. I also mentor people in coaching journey and outside for coaching also, right? So some of the things I get again and again. For example, how do we deal with I don't know? Or, right? So how do we deal with accountability when the client is not being accountable? How do we deal with this? So there are certain things that uh, come up again and again. Or one thing that Avinash already shared, that uh, peeling layer by layer. Also, there are different aspects of becoming, of transformation that we need to address together, right? I have often seen that, uh, suppose we are trying to solve a problem. What we do is we do this in coaching also, but in real life also, our own lives also, right? That we keep pushing forth in the direction that we have decided to go, right? So suppose we are trying to plan action. We are only talking action a little hard on. We are trying to think of an idea. Till the time the idea is coming, we are trying to just figure out the idea. If we are trying to figure out the feeling, then we are just trying to figure that out, even if nothing is coming up at that point. And that is something that often gets clients stuck. And this is the process of unpeeling layers that Avinash was talking about. I call it the spiral because we keep going round and round. That looks like circus. Sometimes we get lost. We do not know where we are going next. We sometimes feel we are going backward, but actually, it is the integration that is happening. Like, think of a spiral staircase, right? So, uh, you think that you are going backward at times, but then you're also going upward simultaneously. The integration is happening in a hidden way. And uh, Avinash also had begun his session in that space that I felt I knew all these, but then it suddenly again occurred to me that, okay, I was not very sorted, right? So that is how the growth and transformation happens, uh, not by being the know it all forever, but by getting disrupted at times, by having small ruptures at times, we actually get to move forward. We move forward also through the I don't know, right? So those are some of the things that I have also shared in the PDF that I have shared with you. But if you have any specific questions, any of you, or any reflections, anything that comes up for you time and again, then you can share that. Then I'm happy to answer that as well. You can also share any kind of.
Something. Yeah. So, firstly, one thought I really loved how you said sometimes as coaches, we've decided the agenda. We want to figure out that emotion, or we want to figure out the identity, or to figure out. And when we don't get it, we kind of become stuck. We keep asking questions around the same thing. But like you said, it's not going in a linear way. It's spiraling, right? So you keep coming back to it. You go. It's dancing in the moment. I really love how you describe that. I do have one question on accountability. So a lot of my clients also be like, I will do it. I'm confident I will do it. I don't need accountability. Or I will just set a reminder, or I will do this. So how do we really get them to be accountable? That's something that I always struggle with. So I'd love to know your thoughts on how you get your clients to be accountable.
Right. Uh, Again, that this is something that I have also shared, regarding accountability. Uh, I think we coaches are often, we are taught like that also. Sometimes we are very stringent with accountability. And that actually negates our spiral experiences, the spiral nature of life. If you haven't done something in a certain way as planned, then you have failed. We are negating that something may have come in the way. Maybe some kind of emotion, maybe some kind of I got busy in life. I got I felt very scared doing it. I just couldn't focus on doing it. Right? So maybe I have planned, but I couldn't do it. That's fine. First comes this acceptance, okay? And also the role of emergence, that something is emerging for us. We are in the spiral. Maybe we are going back and during that week in between, maybe we were going backward. But that does not mean we failed. But there's also a difference between disengagement and spiral. Some clients may do what? They might come to the session. It might happen, say, somebody else has sponsored the session. The organization has sponsored the session, and the client is feeling very disengaged about the coaching. So they are not doing anything. So, firstly, we have to understand, is it disengagement, or is the person actually wanting to do something but they couldn't? Something came in the way. So, it is completely fine if you plan the action.
right? Suppose you want to reduce your social media time, or you decided you are going to write one chapter of your book, anything, you have planned one action, but you could not do it. But if you just noticed, for example, how you felt, what stopped you from doing it, how you felt really as you did not do it, if you could just log your own experiences, even that can count as an action.
Yeah. This is very interesting because I like how you broke it down to if someone's not responding to accountability, it could either be that they're disengaged or there's something else emerging there. And that's something that we can explore. What's emerging? Is that fear of failure, or is that the fear of being accountable? What is it? And it's letting the client know it is okay if you planned something and you didn't do it, but you tried, you moved a step closer. And even I like what you said, even logging your experience about it is an action.
Yes. Yes. Avinash, you mentioned something interesting that I went into the rebel mode, you said, right? So that might stop you from actually playing,
Yeah.
right? You are getting into the rebel mode. Or suppose you are coming to coaching and you are feeling rebellious uh, being a client. Suppose someone else has sponsored you. Now you're feeling that rebellion. Why would the coach me? I am this huge person, or whatever, right? So you're feeling this rebellion. But that is okay. True trust in the coaching relationship would develop when in one session you can come and tell the coach, hey, I am feeling very rebellious. And the coach says, all right, you're feeling rebellious. It's fine, right? So it's not about that is true non-judgment.
Yeah.
Right? But that realization, okay, I'm feeling rebellious at that point, that realization itself will then help the client to take the action. And if that person has come to that understanding and that much of trust in between sessions that they were feeling this and they could voice this, then that is good enough transformation.
Yeah, that is wonderful and very insightful. So what I'm taking away is when client is not being accountable, instead of thinking, oh, they're not being accountable, see what's emerging there. And even if they realize at that time what's happening, that can turn them around and transform them. Yeah. A lot of learnings today. Thank you so much. No, thank you, Tom.
Thank you so much, Avinash. Anything else? Anybody wants to ask anything or share any reflection?
One quick question. So, first of all, thank you so much. Uh, I think I really like the whole identity based, asking the who questions. That was awesome. So, based on the recent conversation, right, where you said that's a good enough transformation. Now, how do I, as a coach, get to that point where I say that that's good enough? Like, how do you identify that? Because as coaches, I think sometimes we can be pretty greedy, wanting it all for the client, the transformation, right? So how do you get to that space, Anindita? I'm curious.
Right. Lavanya, thank you so much for this question. I think there is no absolute measure for anything, right? In coaching, we are no one to absolutely measure this is good enough. But I think whatever transformation is happening, that itself is good enough. That is the acceptance part of coaching as a coach, right? It's not like we are not trying to bring enough insights. We are not trying to do enough action planning. We will also trust the client, except that sometimes they may be disengaged, and then we can we can know, if we notice that, we can ask the client, like, what's going on. But beyond this, we have to trust the client that they are also doing their best within the session and in between sessions. Now, whatever is emerging, that is good enough. Even if that is not ideal and perfect and, out of the world transformation. And transformation does not happen uh, in, you know, in equal amounts. Sometimes it may be very, 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 very slow. And the coach may get very agitated, the client may get very agitated, nervous, what's going on, coaching is not working, and things like that. But then you may notice that suddenly some big transformation happens. But for
Yeah.
this, we have to be very patient and accepting of what is rather than what could be.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. I think the key word here is the acceptance part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank you so
much, Lavanya. Yeah.
I also love how you said in the end, what is rather than what could be. Another beautiful line.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Avinash. Any other questions, reflections, even disagreements? Something that I said and you did not agree with?
Sorry, I have to head out now, and I want to take this
No
moment
problem.
to thank you once again. Thank you, Anindita. Thank you, Dharmesh, and thank you everybody for joining.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you,
so much.
Thank you, Avinash.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Yes.
Anindita. What a
Thank
powerful
you.
reflection, I must say, the way you have taken those questions. I agree, I echo with Avinash, so many learnings that we are taking away from this session, right? So, on that note, I would like to know from everyone. Yes, thank you again. If you have any reflections, I would like to know from everyone what is your key takeaway from today's session, this beautiful session by Anindita. I have so many takeaways as well. What I really loved about Anindita's the later part of when she was harping on spiral pattern intelligence. What I learned was mostly about how she talked about being stringent with accountability. Sometimes we get stringent, and I agree. I so agree. Um, I really loved this Anindita's point of moving forward through I don't know, which is something even as a person I struggle with as well. And thank you for bringing in this reflection. What a deep conversation that we had today. Thanks. Thank you a lot, Anindita, coach, for bringing those transformational shifts in our client today. Yes, yes, we have some reflections here. I felt his initial question was social media addiction. I didn't notice shift of that topic. Yeah, well, that's the power of a coach, right? Bringing in shifts within the client. And yes, I think there's a
Yes.
question here. Yes.
Yeah.
Anindita, would you like to take it up, please? Yeah, yeah.
Right. Right. Thank you so much. Rohan asked this question, right? Yes. Thank you so much, Rohan. So in coaching, we have this concept. Are you a coach also, Rohan? Yes. Great. So in coaching, we have this concept of coaching the who and not the what. So it's not so much about the what, but the who of the person. So what was the problem? He kept moving. I did not move. I asked, what is it that you are looking for from here on? So he at one point mentioned that I was doing so much of social media because I could not connect to people in my life. Right? And then he said that this was happening because I was getting very proud. I was getting very proud. And then he came to that concept of humility. Right? So this was like each connected to one thing to the other to the other. So while you are right, we could have asked this question. Due to the lack of time, maybe I did not ask that question. I could have asked that question, that what happens to your social media addiction at this point? But the thing that came across, I assumed it, so that, it was connected to his disconnection from people around him, which was then connected to his humility or lack of it. And that was something that he acknowledged, right? And also in the beginning, he started with tension that he was feeling. And then he came to, okay, I'm feeling this tension in my body at one point. So that also connected to the beginning part of the session. Does that answer your question, or can I answer that better? Can you come? You can also come and ask that question. Rohan?
Yes, Rohan.
I can see him.
Would you like to? Yeah. Rohan, would you like to answer the question?
All right. So maybe he is typing his long response. Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Anindita, for taking
Thank
in
you.
those questions. Yeah, I think we are on time. Yes,
On time.
almost wrapping up the session. I hope all of you were able to download the PDF document by Anindita on spiral pattern intelligence. You can get in touch with her more on. Yes, I think Rohan has, like you said, Anindita, he's just
Yeah.
typing in,
Yeah.
yeah, he's logging in again. Yeah. So on that note, everyone, I think we are good to go. Thank you, Anindita, for being such a wonderful guide, I must say, and taking us through this transformational shift as a coach. I have a lot of takeaways from this session personally as a coach, and I agree most of us have today being here in this session, right? And yes, I would like to thank the CJ community, the coaching journey community, for bringing in this platform for all of us coaches. Just to let you know, it's a vibrant global community of 700 plus dedicated coaches from over 60 countries, and we are all committed to honing our skills, our ICF skills and credentials in line with the ICF standards. We often have these live demo sessions. So please tune in whenever you can to learn more. And thank you again for being such lovely participants, everyone, for participating with that enthusiasm, asking questions. Yes, agree, echo with everyone. It was a great session. Thank you so much, Anindita. And on behalf of the CJ community, I would like to take your leave. This is Dharmishta. And thank you again for being a part of this wonderful learning journey. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Please take care and have a great evening ahead. Yes, Anindita, I think you're meaning to say something before we wrap up. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you all, and we are all part of the same community. Let's keep the conversation going.
Yes.
It's not the end here. Let this be the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Anindita.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you all. Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone. Have a great evening. Bye bye.